welcome to StepFans and Chill. I'm Mikey Winfield. This is the morning show with the late night feel, you guys. Thank you for listening all around the world. You know, I always give a shout out to my one listener in Pakistan, but the numbers here in the States, man, y'all showing up. So I appreciate it. I see you coming out to the shows, buying tickets in advance. Thank you. You know, Sacramento Punchline's coming up. My birthday weekend, February 21st through the 23rd. 23rd's the big day. Thank you. Albuquerque, we got coming up. Salt Lake City, Sunnyvale. Thank you all. Kylene, Texas. It doesn't stop. I can't even say this one. I think it's Eau Claire, Wisconsin. We got that coming up. Wright State. I think that's in Dayton, Ohio. Hey, man, I'm keeping it moving. Thank you all for that. No, you know, I have not done a lot of voice acting, but, you know, I'm working on it. You know, there's an audition that comes every once in a while because I hear you like, hey, you should be doing voiceovers, you know. A lot of it is numbers, you know, and opportunities. And, I mean, maybe that happens after this. Maybe that happens after this. You know, a lot of people don't know what I even want to do. So sometimes why would an opportunity come if I have not told the universe that I want to do it? I definitely want to do some voice-over acting. Yes, because you could do it from home. Who doesn't want to make money from home? The pandemic shaped the way. There are people that are still working from home since the pandemic that never want to go back. And why should they? Think about the travel time it takes you to get to and from work on a given day, right? When you could just work all those hours at home in your pajamas, you could be more productive depending on what the job is, you know, but everyone's dealio is different-io, so I guess we all got to figure that out. I am feeling good. I'm feeling rejuvenated, fresh. I'm feeling free and bubbling. I was told recently, that that element is shining right now. It's a factor. So the fact that I'm feeling it means it's matching up with what's been happening. So I like that that's going on. You know, I was already starting to talk about something and I don't know what it was. So that's when it's time to jump into the news of the day. Oh no. All right, New Hampshire. It says a group of mice is called a nest. But what do you call 1,000 of them in one animal shelter? Crippling is what they say. Whew. So it says it all started Monday when a man arrived saying he wanted to give up 150 mice. But then he clarified 150 containers of mice, not individual critters. I don't get it yet. He had 73 mice with him that day, and by Friday morning, about 450 had been transferred to the shelter. Another 500 or so were on the way. This man is delivering mice. This is lined up nose to tail. They span more than a football field. There's enough to give one mouse to every member of the U.S. Congress and the 424-member New Hampshire legislature combined. And the total is growing thanks to some basic biology. Female mice are sexually mature at roughly 6 weeks old. Gestation lasts about 20 days and they can mate again 24 hours later. This is news. Even in the short time that we've had them, many of these mice have given birth. It's an exponential problem that keeps growing. That's what exponential means. Part of the shelter's cat pavilion has been turned into a mouse hospital and hotel with dozens of containers lined up on the floor, resting atop multiple tables and stacked on shelves. Just logging each mouse into the shelter's database is a chore. Never mind providing food, water, and bedding. They are doing this? Mice get beds in shelters? What is this? Stuart Little? This some type of Ratatouille cartoon thing? This really happens? There's a shelter for mice where they provide food and beds? It's a lot of work for a facility that at most once took in 125 animals in one day. It does happen when you take a large number, but even when we took in 54 goats or we took 39 cats, I mean, those are still large numbers, but not much more manageable as you can imagine in hundreds and hundreds of mice. Y'all fool with mice like that? I don't. I remember the one time I had one in my garage, man. That dude thought he lived there. And then I had to chase him out the side. I wanted to kill him, but they was like, nah, don't. Let him breathe. Let him live. I was gonna get a sticky trap. And then they were like, nah, but then the mouse would die. But I'm like, doesn't the mouse deserve to die? He's in my garage. He wasn't invited. He's ruining my moment. I'm trying to do push-ups in the garage. How comfortable am I going to be doing push-ups out there if I think every time I push down, I'm looking left and right for a mouse? He's inconveniencing me and you saying don't kill him? I don't know. I didn't, so I guess I'm not a murderer. Other shelters have agreed to take some of the mice. I did not know this existed. And some are being sent to foster homes as the shelter seeks donations of food supplies. Please, someone tell me this is not real. Tell me this is satire. This is not a real story. Because listen, as StepFans and Chill, everything, every approach, I like to be practical, grounded, down to earth. All right? Now, my producer sent me this story that I have not fact-checked. I need it to be real because that is the show's premise. Everything else is, this is weird. Okay, I'm done with the story after this sentence. About a dozen mice were ready for adoption Friday after being named by shelter staff and volunteers. Doug, Daryl, Dude, and Deputy were waiting for homes in one tank. Others were given candy-inspired names, Butterfinger Jr. Mint, and Milk Dud to name of... I don't know who sent this story. I don't. But I'm going to find my own stories from now on, all right? There's no way that mice are out here being adopted as shelters. Were you just trying to see how much of this story I would read until I didn't believe it? There's no way that there's a shelter for mice out there where they're giving them food and blankets and companionship and Netflix and they're just waiting to be adopted and they support each other. Like, I hope it's your week. I hope you get adopted this week. This is not happening. It's not what the show is. All right, where we at? Let's jump into my favorite part of the show. Mikey knows best. People need help in these relationships. Who better than me? All right? I am at a point in my life where I can just sit back and just watch it all happen in front of me. Man, I'm tired of it's too much, man. It's better to not even be involved sometimes, man. I just want to chill and go, enjoy the fruits of life. When you still having to deal with drama regularly, why would you want that in your life? And there's people that like drama. And those of you who like it, stop saying you don't like it. If you like drama, just say you like it so we don't have to have conversations. Like, I hang out with dramatic people, but not in an intimate sense. If that was the case and you knew that you were a dramatic person, we should have relationship resumes, all right? We should find out things you like, things you're good at, your strengths, your weaknesses, why you were fired from your last job. It should have everything on there. And I should be able to read this resume. And if one of the lines is, big fan of drama, then I can say, thank you for coming. Have a great day. Those are options that need to happen in relationships. Can't all be based off of physical beauty. Let's attempt to have some depth. Let's jump into the story. All right, she's 35. She says, my daughter, she's 18, found BDSM gear in her father and his wife's room. How can I address this? You got to say, nasty stuff happens every day, B. What'd she find? That's where you put it at. She found it? Would she find some straps and some Velcro? You know, listen, I applaud your ex-husband and his wife for just having it, living. That may be great for your daughter to find. She's like, what's this? It's like, adults like to have fun and not be all prudish all the time. And then the ones that's vanilla, maybe they like to be vanilla with other vanillas. Says, my ex and I had our daughter when we were teens. And although we got married and tried to make it work, we divorced. What's new? And we kept a very good co-parenting relationship and did our best to raise and provide for her. 5 years ago, my daughter's father married ex, his now wife, with whom he has a son. She is very sweet and thoughtful, and a thoughtful woman who's always treated my daughter very well when she visits them. She never made her feel unwelcome or second fiddle to her half-brother. Oh, it's a half-brother now? And likewise adores her stepmom. All right. It's obvious that her father, they have a happy and loving marriage, and I'm glad for them. Also, they always gave me a hand when I was having difficulties. Well, isn't this sweet? This is how it's supposed to work out. Families should get along before and after. The other day, my daughter came back from a weekend with her dad giggling and telling me she saw something. Well, I'm glad she was giggling. Something weird and gross. I asked her what she saw, and she couldn't stop laughing. She told me she was looking for a spare phone charger. You don't look for a spare phone charger in the dick drawer? Okay, where was I? And she said her stepmom told her she could take hers from her bedroom. My daughter went to fetch it and saw a leather corset and short whip on the nightstand. Whoa, left a whip right on the nightstand. If it's not for sex, it's for something. She guessed that she forgot to put them away as she was busy doing chores, so she didn't say anything. But when she came home, she told me everything is gossip. I was a bit dumbfounded, but I told my daughter this is not her business, and most likely your stepmom didn't remember she had left that stuff on the nightstand. That's freaky. You just leave it on a nightstand? I like this lady. I don't know her, but I do. I told her that her stepmom and her father are consenting adults, and what they do behind closed doors or in the room openly is their business only. And also that by now, her stepmom must have realized she had left that stuff out in the open and is most likely embarrassed and mortified. My daughter agreed with me. She's 18, but she kept giggling about it. Just wondering, who whips who? and how her stepmom looks like as a dominatrix because she always wears very covering attire. Okay. Well, okay, so you want to know how you can address this? You know how you can address it? You tell her that it's human and we all have our things and sex is not abnormal. It's a beautiful thing that should be done with yourself and as many people as you wish to do that with. All right, let's stop running from it. Stop running from all the conversations. Let's have these talks. What do you guys want to talk about? Let's chat about it right now. Jump into the chat. Jump into the comments. Yeah. All right. Another one. Oh, man, I like it. He's 31. He says, my wife, she's 31, wants me to cut ties with my family before Christmas and is threatening divorce. How do I navigate this? Don't you hate this person? I hate this. It's always somebody that maybe it's not the same relationship you have with yours as they have with theirs, and now they just want it to all get cut out. Like, I get not being too overbearing with it. I get it. If it's like, hey, every holiday or every weekend, we're always with your family. I get breaking it up from time to time. I understand that. But not the one when they're like, I'm going to read the story. Not the one when they're like, you know, like, I don't have my family and let's just do our own thing, like, only. Like, no. It's the purpose of family. It's a village. Let's live in the village. I'm dealing with a tough situation and need advice on how to handle it. My wife and I both are 31, have different relationships with our families. I'm close with my parents, talking to them once or twice a week, while my wife doesn't have a strong relationship with her family. We see what this is already. So his wife, because she does not have the strong relationship with her family, she wants him to cut ties with his own. This is masterminded, masterclass manipulation. Cut it off. You got to tell her. You got to tell her that I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to cut off my family. No, we don't have to spend every holiday with them or every weekend or every whatever, birthday, anniversary, every whatever. But we are not going to cut them off. My family means well. I mean, I don't know the rest, but have they been mean to her? There's no reason to do this. The issue started when we bought a new car. My parents thought it was too expensive and shared their opinions, which upset my wife. See how people want to take a seed and just make it a whole ass plant? All right. Yeah, maybe the family should have minded their business. But it's really not that big of a deal. They thought you spent so much money or too much. That's their opinion. Are they helping you guys out financially? If they are, they do have the right to say, damn, you spending a lot of money on that. And now we got to step in and help you too. If they're not helping you, who cares what they think? Who cares? But not enough to get frustrated where you don't want to hang out with them or cut ties around the holidays. I think that's just a very shallow thing to do, man. It's a certain type of person that does it too. All right. Now she's asking me to cut ties with my family because she feels they're meddling in our life. She told me that if I don't, she would divorce me. You know what? All right. Now I'm upset. All right. If you don't cut off your family, don't give me no ultimatum that has to do with my family. Even if I don't like my family, don't give me an ultimatum, all right? I know I got some crazy people in my family. I know they do some stupid stuff. I know they quiet, secretive, they loud, mean, and open. They're everything. But I ain't gonna cut ties with them because of some meddling. Like if they hurt you in a way disrespectfully or did something that was out of pocket, maybe we can consider this. But see, this is the reason people always want to move away too. We should just move. Let's just move to Ohio. So now you don't have any help, any assistance. And then we could do things all on our own. I hate the person that just tries to separate you. Oh, and just take you away so it could just be you. I'm not a fan of that. So I don't want to be in those situations. Man, you like read stuff. I get it now. You read stuff and more you realize how like cool it is to just be to yourself. So many benefits and just being solo and not having to deal with somebody that's going to bring this type of energy in your life. We're approaching Christmas. Yes, we are. And I promise her we'll spend the holiday without my parents. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Giving her too much power. However, I'm struggling with how to explain this to my family, especially since I'm not comfortable lying about the situation. So now you're considering lying to your family. What are you doing? Who raised you? You're doing this wrong. My question is, how do I have this conversation with my parents? Listen, your parents, they're going to look at you like a little bitch, all right? That's what they're going to say. This man can't think for himself. He can't be straightforward and do what he want to do in life. This is a terrible way to operate and maneuver. If you want to have holidays alone, you are welcome to that, but not under these circumstances. Not like this. If you're going to do this, do it the right way. And you don't do it by just agreeing to do something. So what? Somebody won't divorce you? How desperate are you? Cut this type of trash out, man. Let's grow up and figure this out like adults. Because this is not handling it like adults. This is handling it like children. What are you teaching your children? You even had kids? I don't even care. Handle it like you shouldn't have to go through this. No one should have to go through this. She's threatening divorce. What she got? What's so good about her? Because this personality trait is not something that I would like to keep. Man, don't you wish you could talk? Hey, people, where my old people at? Don't you wish you could go back and give the younger you advice? And you could just give yourself all the advice and just guide yourselves into just wonderlands of lifestyles that you probably could have had, but you didn't allow yourself to have because you didn't know better. You didn't know who to listen to. You didn't know who to trust. All right, I'm done with that because that put me in just a bad mood. All right. We're gonna jump into this last thing. All right, here we go. Police thought a shoe thief was on the loose at a kindergarten in southwestern Japan until a security camera caught a furry culprit in action. A weasel with a tiny shoe in his mouth was spotted on the video footage after police installed these cameras in the school in where is that place? Fukuoka. It's great it turned out not to be a human being, says the deputy police chief. Teachers and parents had feared it could be a disturbed person with a shoe fetish. But fortunately, it wasn't. It was a weasel. It was a weasel stealing shoes out of a kindergarten classroom. How weird is this? Police thought a shoe thief was on the loose, all right, but it wasn't. Japanese customarily take their shoes off before entering home. So that's the problem, Japanese people. You always put your shoes at the front, you leave them there, and you don't put locks on them, all right? You never know what could happen if you just leave your shoes in the front. You know where else they do this? I was in Korea. We went out to a restaurant, and yes, we wore shoes there. They had a shoe cubby in the front. I think I got a photo of it. There was a shoe cubby in the front, and you put your shoes in there and you walk in. So I don't know if anyone's ever done Taekwondo or went to a restaurant where everyone's taking off their shoes. Man, there's a chance you might run into some foot odor. And I get it too. At least the rug in there is clean. But man, you will smell some things, especially at the Taekwondo place. Everybody got their shoes off and it's just feet smell just filling the air and you just fighting through it. You punching through a big cloud of smoke smells and feet juice boiling gust all over. The weasel scattered shoes around and took 15 of them before police were called. 6 more were taken the following day. The weasel returned November 11th to steal 1 more shoe. The camera footage of that theft was seen the next day. Well, at least it wasn't a crazy human. That is the moral of this story. Everyone's relieved. They figured it out. The children got a great laugh when they saw the weasel in the video. And, this is a feel-good story. This might make an episode of a cartoon one day. You got a weasel out there just stealing shoes, and that's it. Yeah. This was an interesting episode. This thing was, I don't know, man. This one had some highs and some interesting lows, and some feel goods and some feel bads. It put me in an angry place, man, because I don't like to see anyone struggle when they don't have to. But we don't know that we shouldn't have to struggle. We don't get it. We just go along with the flow, which is always the problem. We got to stop doing that. We got to start doing our own research, figuring out things ourselves. Thank you for time. Thank you for tuning in. StepFans and Chill. I'm Mikey Winfield for another episode. Signing off.